This right here gonna be a cakewalk.
I think people aren't having as much fun with Tekken because people tend to be more disconnected. A lot of the fun of Tekken is interactivity with others. Yeah, and this is why I think Tekken should have a game chat. Everyone always talks about, no, it will be toxic. Think about it. Taking away the human ability to communicate because you're afraid of someone saying bad words. If your argument is no, they shouldn't add voice chat because it's toxic, then you're basically saying no voice chat in every game ever. If you're saying that voice chat shouldn't be in Tekken, then you're basically saying voice chat shouldn't be in GTA 6. Voice chat shouldn't be in CSGO. Voice chat shouldn't be in anything. Like, bro, just put a mute button and call it a day. You know how on the load screen you could press the analog stick and you could switch the names to block out the names? Let's say someone has an inappropriate name. You could click that thing twice and then you could block out their name. To put the other analog stick or a button for a mute button. Just that simple. And it doesn't unmute unless you press it. Just like the names won't turn back unless you press it. Tekken 7 had it. Yeah, Tekken 7 had it. Tag 2 had it. Do you guys remember if Tag 2, or if, not Tag 2, Tekken 6 and Tekken 5 had voice chat? You know, Harada said he would add it if it's requested. But you just have all these idiots who's like, no, it's toxic. No one would ever in their life say GTA 6 should not have voice chat. But those same guys would say don't add it to Tekken 8 because it's toxic. Sounds like it's time for Moonsaw Video to request voice chat, like when you mentioned practice throws. I did it before. And you know what the comments say? No, that's toxic. Tekken 5 DR did, and I had a Bill Cosby account and I used to play the Cosby Show theme music at the end of each match. Yeah, see, that's fire. Think of how cool the Tekken Lounge would be if you could communicate. Obviously, not everyone communicating at the same time, but you have different voice channels. You walk up to someone and then you click like activate voice channel, right? And now you can communicate with them. So, I mean, technically, if you want to activate the voice channel with everyone, you can. You know how many times I go in the Tekken Lounge and people are like typing me messages like, oh, I'm Moonside. Obviously, I like to sit there and like type, but imagine if I could just click on them and talk. That'd be dope. Or proximity chat. Yeah, proximity chat as well, right? VR chat is literally built around people standing around talking. I don't even know what the goal of VR chat is. I just know everyone stands around and talks. It might have sounded like a live tournament last night. Yeah, it would have sounded crazy if you seen how many people was watching Mike's podcast in the little thing. You know, it was so many people spectating to where there was a limit on how many people can spectate. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know there was a limit on how many people can spectate a cabinet at once. Tekken Bold Online might be fire. Yeah, they should put it in an arcade, right? In an arcade lounge. Yeah, you know I talked about rotating game modes before, right? I think every day of the week Tekken Ball should be something different. Sunday, Tekken Ball. Monday, Tekken Bowl. Tuesday, boss battles. You can play as boss characters and that's it. The next day you have like team battle. The next day you have team mode. The next day you can have like a turbo mode where you move like twice as fast. Or like no heat mode. People talk about that. Basically what I'm saying is like, you know, that Tekken Ball area that's pretty useless. Every day it's a different thing. And then one of the days could even be retro Tekken. Whatever day is the most unpopular day for Tekken, make that the day where you go to that area and you can play past Tekkens. And then watch that unpopular day overnight become the most played day for Tekken. I even think they should put like a retro Bandai Namco day. You have a day where you can go to the Tekken Ball area and you can play like old Pac-Man games and like old pinball games. That'd be fire. We know Bandai Namco has a whole entire library of games just sitting there. Hey, she bad. Who is that? Dang. Wait, is that Lee Mishima? My bad. False alarm. It's Lee Mishima, everyone. False alarm. I think they should have the most spectate match pop up on the trailer screen. I think that trailer screen can be used for a lot of things. I think the trailer screen can be used to show tournaments that's happening live, and you can have like a proximity chat for that live tournament. You know, they have the stage area with the circle around it. You can walk into that area and then you can hear the tournament. But then when you leave out that area, you don't hear the tournament, so you don't hear it blasting through the whole thing, right? You could do that. When there's no tournaments going on, you can have the most spectated match being displayed. The reason why I don't suggest ideas like this though all the time is because I don't know the technical limitations, right? I don't know how much server, how much data, how much stuff would be used to do this. At the same time, I do know that for games like Marvel Rivals, Smite, I believe League of Legends, someone told me League of Legends does this, but there's other games that have a competitive scene and they do it. They have like the tournaments be viewable in the game. I was playing Marvel Rivals the other day, literally yesterday, and when I turned it on, there was a live tournament that was being played, and I clicked into it for a split second and watched. And it's interesting too because the developers say that the tournaments was the main reason why Tekken 7 sold 12 million copies. If that's the case, then why isn't there a direct way to watch tournaments in the game? Because think of how many people don't know that tournaments exist, and if they did, they would watch. I mean, that's what I did. I played Tekken Tag Tournament 2 that whole time. I didn't know tournaments existed. When Tekken 7 was coming out, I started to try to find Yoshimitsu gameplay, and I discovered Korean Yoshi gameplay from tournaments. And that's how I discovered the tournament scene. I didn't even know tournaments existed. There's probably people like that right now who don't know that tournaments exist, and the only way they will find out is if they're searching up their own character to find gameplay. So I think that Tekken is missing that opportunity, and this is also something that they were talking about on Mike's stream, how the developers are looking at other games and taking ideas, which all games do, right? That's what you're supposed to do, learn from others, right? This is where the Battle Pass idea came from. They didn't invent that. They got it from someone else. Someone else got it from Fortnite, blah, 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 right? Another great idea that they should implement is tournaments being viewable in the game. Whether it's just on the main menu like most games, or whether you want to incorporate it into the lounge to make that experience better. And also playing off that same idea that Tekken 7 sold 12 million copies because of tournaments, if that's the case, why don't they do a better job of highlighting their tournament players, right? The Tekken main Twitter account, you guys know I critiqued it many times in the past because when you compare it to Street Fighter does a better job of highlighting things, highlighting the players, highlighting, fan art. If you look at their account, it's just fan art all over the place. It's memes all over the place. Tekken is doing a better job of incorporating some memes in there, right? They talk about the characters' birthdays now. Back when we had this conversation before, they didn't do that. So that's growth, right? That's good. But they should go an extra step. I don't think that the main Tekken Twitter has made a tweet about Arslan in months. I understand they may not want to talk about all the pros because you have some guys who are controversial, but you haven't made a tweet about Arslan, about Knee, just like highlighting these guys, just celebrating them. A random tweet celebrating a pro, everyone would love that, right? If tournaments really is the reason why Tekken 7 sold 12 million copies, then why don't you post your players and boost them and boost their influence, boost their growth, and then, the bigger Arslan gets, the bigger tournaments gets. Whenever Arslan is competing, those tournaments are the most viewed. When Arslan is talking the most trash on Twitter, the tournament he goes to breaks the most records. So why don't the developers play into that idea and celebrate their players, celebrate, through their Twitters, share players' pictures, profiles, journeys, do interviews, share fan art, share, gameplay, like combo videos, like a lot of this stuff Street Fighter does, but then a lot of this stuff other people do, right? And you can even talk about real world sports, where real world sports, celebrate, their professional athletes and stuff like that, right? So I think Tekken has a lot of things that it's doing right, but when you just talk about them doing that extra thing to just make it really amazing, those are the ideas that I just bring up. And that stuff's not even about gameplay, right? Gameplay aside, I think them doing those things would just make it so much better. You know how they have the new character Marizu? Why they ain't retweet no Marizu fan art, right? They told people to use the hashtag, which people were doing. There's a lot of Armor King artwork out there. I'm pretty sure none of you guys have seen it. They should be retweeting that stuff. They should be talking about the Madagascar Tekken scene. They said that it existed. Harada visited it, but why don't they say, like, this is one of the best players in Madagascar and here's his thoughts on Marizu? And you have a picture of the guy, you have a picture of Marizu, and then you have like a quote where he's like, I'm really happy that this character can be there. I'm a Kazuya main, but now that this new character's coming out, I'm gonna give her a try. And then boom, literally that's it. Like, bro, give me the login to information and I'll do it myself. It's literally that simple. What I'm saying is not revolutionary. What I'm saying is done by many others on Twitter, and Tekken is just behind in their social media usage, right? And this is why they do things like the developers are poor at communication and stuff like that, because they don't know how to use social media, which is fine, but you have to find someone who is good at it. You have to understand that social media is your weakness, and instead of being afraid to communicate, you have to hire someone who understands the social media landscape and then can turn it around. I mean, how many times do you see tweets from like McDonald's and stuff and it has millions of likes? That's because whoever is using that is not some McDonald's employee. It's some social media genius who understands how the internet works. That's all they need, That's all they need.